As we get closer to Inauguration Day in January, this morning, President-elect Donald Trump is doubling down on his plan to conduct mass deportation the moment he is sworn in. Caplin's Anthony Cruz has more on what his policy will look like for those at risk.
Yes, and President-elect Trump has confirmed that he will use his executive powers and the courts to try and conduct mass deportation. I spoke to many immigrant rights groups to see what those policies may look like and what measures they are taking in response both in the short term and long term. Trump has said he will look to roll back programs he tried to end in his first term, such as temporary protected status. And despite seemingly flipping his stance on DACA over the weekend on NBC's Meet the Press with Christian Welker, many advocates and DACA recipients remain weary. Oscar Chacon of the immigrant rights group Alianza Americas believes that people under those legal protections might be in more danger than those who are undocumented.
These are people that have shared with the federal government information about themselves. So all that data is in their possession. They can take action about it.
This could affect roughly 1 million people in Florida. Advocates like Thomas Kennedy with the group Florida Immigrant Coalition are highlighting the potential economic ramifications, citing a report published by the state back in January.
Retired people are moving into the state and younger people are moving out, right? And that is leading to a decline in the labor participation of the state, the worker shortage that we've seen exacerbated since the pandemic. But actually, this report, and it's not by us, it's by the state of Florida, actually recommends net migration into the state to fix this.
Kennedy and the coalition have also lobbied the federal government to extend protections to migrants before the new administration takes over next month.
We've just had a blitzkrieg of meetings with the White House, with members of Congress asking them to urge the White House to redesignate temporary protected status to nations before December 19, which is the deadline for them to issue executive actions. And that's because if they do it now, we can get the forms out fast enough for people to apply and at least get a driver's license.
He adds that this is especially urgent for many Nicaraguans after the Biden administration announced in October that it would not renew the status of migrants under his humanitarian parole program.
It does create the urgency for them to protect these people that had gotten protection and then were left in limbo by this very own administration.
A major aspect of Trump's mass deportation plan is the expansion of detention centers. In late November, the ACLU received documents from one of the 4 Freedom of Information Act lawsuits it has filed since September that revealed ICE capacity could increase in at least 2 facilities in New Jersey. This comes as it looks to pressure Biden to, quote, close detention facilities and halt ICE's current detention expansion plans. The ACLU's Gabby Arias says that this will also be useful during the Trump administration.
It's a kind of critical way about how we're thinking about setting up the stage for any potential litigation on mass deportations. Again, we don't know what that policy will look like, but understanding what infrastructure is already available really helps set the stage for future legal challenges to come.
In Trump's corner this time will be a returning Stephen Miller as Deputy Chief of Staff and Tom Homan assuming the position of Border Czar. While he awaits the Senate confirmation of Kristi Noem for Department of Homeland Security, he also has over 200 federal judges that he appointed during his first term. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Anthony Cruz.